Hi, it's Sherina with Daring to Thrive EFT Tapping. I'm an EFT tapping practitioner, and I'm just here closing out Black Wellness Week in Washington State and would love to do some tapping with you. If you read my previous article on Substack, it's titled, What Am I Waiting For? And so we're going to do some tapping around what am I waiting for? But, there's some great questions in that article that may get you thinking. They definitely got me reflecting on why I'm hesitating, why I'm procrastinating, and what I'm waiting for. So, in fact, I'm wondering, something you can ask yourself right now is, if you weren't worried about blank, how might your life be different? So if you weren't worried about not making the right step or being judged, or if you weren't procrastinating, how would your life be different? So let's get curious about that. If you're not familiar with EFT tapping, this is based on traditional Chinese medicine, and we're basically going to be tapping on different acupressure points on our upper body. If you went to an acupuncturist, they'd be likely putting needles in these spots. In fact, a very common spot that acupuncturists use is right here between the eyes, and we will be using that tapping spot right there. But by tapping on these energy meridian points, we are literally changing the energy or the chi, and we are letting our brain or our nervous system know that we are safe, or that we can think about things differently. EFT is really great when you want to feel differently about something or get to other aspects of something. So I invite you to tap along. So we're going to get started. I'm going to invite you to pause this video, because if you don't have water nearby, please get some water. If you're not in a quiet, private space, please get in a quiet, private space. You may need to put on some headphones, and this is your opportunity to do that. So I'll give you a moment to do that. Pause the video. Okay, we're back. And let's get into some tapping. Before we start, I just invite you to put your feet flat on the floor. And if you're sitting on a surface, try to feel your sit bones on that seat. Maybe you have a back to your chair and you can feel your back against that. Something to help keep yourself grounded. Again, feet on the floor. And now I invite you just to get settled, and just to know that this time is for you, and that you can get quiet and do something for your betterment, your health and wellness. So let's get started. I'm going to be calling out all of the tapping points, so you don't need to remember those. And when you're tapping on these points, it's just like if you were to drum on a table. You're not tapping hard. You choose which side you want to use. Most go dominant hand to non-dominant, but if you want to reverse it, that's okay. And when we get on the upper points, you can use one hand or two hands. I will say, when we get to if you wear glasses, you'll probably want to take those off, because we're going to be tapping around the eyes. We'll do this point right here in between your eyebrows, on the side of the eyes, and that's the bony part. Underneath the eye, that's the bony part. Right under your nose, the tip of your nose. And then on your chin, you may have a divot there, right in there. Then we'll get to your collarbone. Your collarbone is here, and it's this soft part. And under the arm, not the armpit, but a hand's width underneath. If you wear a bra, it's where your bra strap hits you. So I'll be calling out all of those. You don't have to remember that, but just wanted to give you a quick overview. So let's get started. Feet flat on the floor. Go ahead and take a deep breath to just settle yourself. Side of the hand. even though I'm feeling like I'm hesitating and I'm waiting for something. In fact, I'm asking myself, what am I waiting for? And for me, I feel this in my chest. If there's somewhere you feel a sensation that's related to this emotion, go ahead and name that. I'm feeling this hesitation in my chest, and it's related to moving forward in my business. And even though I'm hesitating about moving forward in my business, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm hesitating, this question keeps popping up. What am I waiting for? And I'm not even sure the answer. But I do know, or I'm thinking it's connected to my business. Because every time I get ready to do something for my business, it's like I'm procrastinating. Even though I'm hesitating and procrastinating, I choose to accept myself anyway. Even though I'm hesitating, I'm procrastinating, and I feel it in my chest. Every time I think about moving forward in my business, there's something that distracts me or something that makes me hesitate. And even though I'm hesitating, even procrastinating, I accept my feelings. Top of the head. I'm hesitating. I'm procrastinating. This question keeps popping up. What am I waiting for? Why won't I just do it? Between the eyes, eyebrows, I'm hesitating. I feel it in my chest, side of the eye. This question keeps popping up. What am I waiting for? And I'm hesitating. I feel this in my chest. I'm hesitating. I feel this in my chest. Under the nose. I'm hesitating. I feel it in my chest. On the chin. I'm wondering, what am I waiting for? Why am I hesitating? On the collarbone. What am I waiting for? Why am I hesitating? Under the arm. What am I waiting for? Why am I hesitating? So, one thing we didn't do was make note of kind of the level of hesitation, procrastination, or even a sense of what am I waiting for. It's great if you can think about that and kind of note where it is before you begin tapping. And then after you do a tapping round to see if anything's changed. Because sometimes when we're paying attention to our body, it might get excited and be pleased that we're actually listening. So things might get a little louder, is what I call it. It's as if you had a radio dial or a volume dial, and 0 would be everything's okay. There's no activation. There's no level of emotion. To 10 being it's really loud. It's uncomfortable. I want to change the way I feel about this. 5 is somewhere in between. So we'll do another round, and I hope you'll make a note of, first of all, what emotion you're feeling, specifically what it's about. So for me, I'm talking about hesitation, procrastination around business, things in my business. What's the situation for you? Maybe you're hesitating about a conversation you need to have. Maybe you're hesitating about moving forward in your business, or moving forward seeking out a job or something like that. Make it specific to your situation, because then the EFT is going to be way more effective. So again, make note of what level it is, what emotion you're feeling. And if you don't know what emotion you're feeling, it's okay to say, I don't really know how I feel about this, but I know I can feel that it's, where it's located in your body. And then state what the specific situation is you're dealing with. And then, we'll tap. So let's try another round. So for me, I think I was about an 8 when we started, and now I'm down to a 5. Side of the hand. Even though I'm realizing that I'm hesitating, even procrastinating about moving forward in my business. I keep asking myself what I'm waiting for, but I don't know the answer. But I do know that every time I get started on something, there's a distraction or something pops up. And I need to take my focus off of what's next for my business. Even though I feel this in my chest, this hesitation, this procrastination, I'm open to the possibility I can still accept myself. Even though I realize I'm procrastinating, I keep asking myself, what am I waiting for when it comes to my business? It's like I'm not sure what step to take next. Or even when I am sure, I don't do it. Even though I'm procrastinating, I'm still open to the possibility that I can accept myself. Even though I'm procrastinating, I don't even know why. I don't know what I'm waiting for. But I know that when I think about taking a step for my business, I start hesitating, and I'm wondering why. So I'm getting curious. And even though I'm procrastinating, I'm open to the possibility that I can still accept myself. Top of the head. I'm hesitating. There's this hesitation there, this procrastination. I'm wondering what I'm waiting for, especially when it comes to my business. Between the eyebrow, there's this hesitation, this procrastination, and I feel it in my chest when I think about moving forward in my business. Side of the eye. I'm procrastinating, specifically around my business. I can feel it in my chest. Under the eye, this procrastination, it's in my chest. Under the nose, this procrastination, it's in my chest. On the chin, this procrastination, I feel it in my chest. Under the arm, this procrastination, I'm still wondering what I'm waiting for. Just take a minute to let things settle. And then assess. Has anything shifted? If you had a sensation in one particular part of your body, has it moved somewhere else? Has that volume, that level gone up? Is it up to 10? Has it come down from 10? Where is it now? Make note of it. And when we were tapping and you were saying the phrasing, repeating after me, tapping along with me, were there any thoughts that popped into your head? Whether they were affirmative thoughts or conflicting thoughts. If they were conflicting, we really want to make note of those because those could clue us into some more aspects or something else that we need to work on. So make note. And you can continue tapping on your own, making note. Again, making note of the level, making note of the specific emotion, making note of the specific location that you might feel the emotion is located in your body, and what your specific situation is. Now, again, if you're like, I'm not really sure what emotion it is, or I'm not really sure where it is in my body, you can just say that. I don't know what emotion I'm feeling. I don't know where it is in my body, but I'm dealing with this situation about whatever the situation is. And do some tapping and see if that an emotion becomes apparent to you, or a location in your body becomes apparent to you. Because what tapping allows us to do is to get clear, to get some clarity. It allows us to quiet our brain, to let our brain and our nervous system know that, hey, we're going to be okay. Let's just pay a little attention. And, EFT is great because it connects the verbal and the cognitive, the mind-body connection, and it allows you to do some affirmation for yourself. So if you noticed, when we tap on the side of the hand, we really like to talk about the situation that we're in and the truth of how we feel. This is an opportunity for us to really think of that and really say it and not stuff our feelings. So do that. This is the time for you to do that, because EFT is great for when you wish your feelings were just different. And it's not that we want to assign a negative connotation to a feeling, but we do want to just acknowledge what the feeling is, because of course we've got societal norms and society telling us, well, if you feel that way, that's not good. Here, we're really just getting curious and listening, and then moving through that emotion or that feeling. So thanks for tapping along with me. Again, I hope you had a wonderful Black Wellness Week. I'm in Washington State. You can be located anywhere. But I encourage you to move from surviving into thriving. I'm Sherina with Daring to Thrive EFT Tapping. And please, even though the Black Wellness Week is over, you should still focus on your wellness. So please join me in doing that. Take good care.